Lord, now let your servant go in peace. Your word has been fulfilled. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of every people, a light to lighten the Gentiles, and to be the glory of your people Israel. That was probably a bit unexpected to hear me in Holy Week quoting something from the Christmas story, Simeon's prophecy over Jesus when he was a few days old. But there's a reason. Just a few days before his death, in the passage that we're looking at today, those themes are echoed. That Jesus is still the light, that he's come for the Gentiles as well as the Jews, and that God will bring glory through what happens. The story is from John chapter 12. We'll read it at the end. Some Greeks came to see Jesus. They came to another Greek. Well, we don't know whether he was Greek, but he had a Greek name, one of Jesus' disciples, Philip. He and Andrew then went to Jesus with their request. Perhaps they'd approached him because of his Greek name, that they felt he would be sympathetic to them. Anyway, what Jesus said was also very unexpected. The Greeks didn't expect what they heard, I would guess, and certainly the crowds who were expecting an earthly Messiah really didn't. Because what he did, he started talking about death. He talked about life coming from death. He used the example of a seed of wheat, that while it stays as a seed, it's just a seed. It has to fall into the soil and die, as it were, for it to sprout and germinate and for new life to come. He actually spelt out the method of his death, that he was going to be lifted up and crucified. He said that this was necessary, and he asked God to glorify his name through it. And unexpectedly, God spoke audibly. I have glorified it already through what Jesus has already done, and I will glorify it again. Confirmation, as it were, that in going to the cross, Jesus was fulfilling the purpose for which he came. However, that was unexpected too. People thought it was thunder, or that an angel was speaking to Jesus. In fact, the voice was for them. The voice was to confirm that this was all part of God's plan. That the old sacrificial system was ending with this shocking once and for all slaughter of a man. This man, Jesus. The significance of it was unexpected too. For those who'd missed the significance of the donkey on Palm Sunday especially. The Messiah, the King, the anointed one, he was not here to deal with the Roman overlords. He was here for something much greater. His purpose in dying was to drive out the prince of this world, Satan, the spirit of evil behind all temporal systems, for the whole world and for all time. And then as we get to the end of the story, a last warning, reminding them that he is the light and is only there for a short while longer. Warning them not to get lost in spiritual darkness, urging them to hear and respond quickly, not to let the opportunity slip away, And then, as if to drive home the urgency to make a decision, a final, dramatic, visual, prophetic action, Jesus left and hid himself from them. I hope those Greeks understood and were open to God, that they made the decision to follow, and that they understood what was happening when they saw Jesus lifted up on the cross a few days later. We don't actually know the end of their story. Sadly, we know the end of the story for many in the crowd at the temple that week, because we know they chose not to believe. God was not acting in the way that they thought he should be acting. But God can't be put tidily in a box. He doesn't follow our rules. He sometimes acts in wildly unexpected ways. But he has a passion for us, the passion that Jesus felt, the passion that made him determined to fulfill his purpose and embrace the cross. What's the end of our story? My story, your story. What decision have we made when we've had our preconceptions challenged? What decision have we made when God doesn't act in the way we think he should? What decisions have we made when we've heard God speak to us? What decisions have we made when we've been confronted by the Jesus who died on a cross? John chapter 12, verse 20. Now there were a number of Greeks among the worshippers at the feast. They went to Philip and asked him, "Would you take us to see Jesus? We want to speak to him." So Philip went to find Andrew, and they both went to tell Jesus. He replied, "Now is the time for the Son of Man to be glorified." Let me make this clear. A single grain of wheat will never be more than a single grain of wheat unless it drops into the ground and dies, because then it sprouts and produces a great harvest of wheat, or because one grain died. The person who loves his life and pampers himself will miss true life, but the one who detaches his life from this world and abandons himself to me will find true life and enjoy it forever. If you want to be my disciple, follow me, and you will go where I am going. And if you truly follow me as my disciple, the Father will shower his favor upon your life. Even though I am torn within and my soul is in turmoil, I will not ask the Father to rescue me from this hour of trial, for I have come to fulfill my purpose. So, Father, bring glory to your name. Suddenly a booming voice was heard from the sky. I have glorified my name, and I will glorify it again. The audible voice of God startled the crowd standing nearby. Some thought it was only thunder, yet others said, an angel just spoke to him. Then Jesus told them, the voice you heard was not for my benefit, but for yours, to help you believe. From this moment on, everything in this world is about to change, for the ruler of this dark world will be overthrown. And I will do this when I'm lifted up off the ground and I draw the hearts of people to gather them to me. He said this to indicate that he would die by being lifted up on the cross. Some people from the crowd spoke up and said, "Die? How could the Anointed One die? The word of God says the Anointed One will live with us forever. But you just said that the Son of Man must be lifted up from the earth. And who is this Son of Man anyway?" Jesus replied, "You will have the light shining with you for only a little while longer. While you still have me, walk in the light, so that the darkness doesn't overtake you. For when you walk in the dark, you have no idea where you're going. So believe and cling to the light while I am with you, so that you will become children of light." After saying this, Jesus entered the crowd and hid himself from them.